Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Evan Quinones. I am from New York City and welcome to my YouTube channel. For my first official video here on YouTube, I am going to be talking about my weight loss story, how it started, why it started, where I am today, and everything in between. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in hearing, and if you want to join me for my new journey here on YouTube, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. So where do I begin? I guess a little backstory about me, my upbringing, basically what led me to the start of my weight loss and fitness journey. I was born and raised, and I still live here in New York City. I went to school here. I graduated from college here. Basically, New York City is my home, period. End of story. I come from a lower middle income or middle class Puerto Rican family of 4. It's my parents, my older brother, and myself. We lived in the projects of the New York City Housing Authority, also known as NYCHA, on the west side of Manhattan. And even though we didn't come from a lot of money, we were comfortable. We were never worried about food or going hungry or things like that. So I'm very grateful about that. We were a pretty close-knit family. Like I said, it was just the 4 of us, but I do have a huge extended family. My mom is one of 9 kids, so I have a lot of aunts and uncles and a bunch of cousins, first, second, third. I have lost count how many cousins I have, but it's a lot. Fast forward to my preteen years, around 11 or 12, my parents separated. Let me preface this by saying that as a family, we weren't making like the best decisions when it comes to our diet already. We knew nothing about nutrition, nothing about portion control, things like that. A few times a week, we would order takeout. Essentially, there wasn't much balance in the way we were consuming our food. So combining that with my parents separating and the stress I was feeling with school and coming to terms with my own identity, I think really led me down a more dangerous path when it came to my relationship with food. When it came to the foods in our pantry, I don't remember a time where we didn't have like those sugary cereals like the Fruit Loops, the Fruity Pebbles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or the Little Debbie snack cakes like the Swiss rolls, the brownies, the honey buns. We always made sure that we had a few boxes of each in our pantry, that's for sure. So now I had all the tools of developing a binge eating disorder within reach, literally. It was not uncommon for me to have 2 or 3 bowls of cereal back to back while sitting in front of the TV, or having 2 or 3 little snack cakes, Little Debbie snack cakes a day. That was basically the norm for me. Sometimes I would consume these things without even being hungry. I would have no control over what I was eating or how much I was eating. It was like my mind had me in a trance, and then my body kind of took over on autopilot, if that makes any sense. So like I said, I knew nothing about food and nutrition at this point. So I had no idea that eating these foods back to back would bring 0 satiety. These foods had very minimal nutritional value. It was mostly empty carbs and sugars, very little protein, very little fat, very little fiber. And those are the 3 components that really truly satisfy your appetite more than anything else. Now, I want to point out that I was never officially diagnosed with a binge eating disorder by a professional, but I had all the signs and the behaviors of someone who did. This went on for the next 17, 18 years, I want to say. I went up and down with my weight, and I think that being in school, having gym class a few times a week played a role in that, but other than that, I wasn't really active at all. So when you think about it, not having the best nutrition at home combined with not being active outside of school, there really was no way for me to take control of my health the way that I should have. So fast forward to 2020, we all know what happened that year. The COVID pandemic hit. And at the time I was working for WAG, which, if you don't know, is a dog walking service. I would pick up several walks a day to make some money. It wasn't a lot, but it was something. So now I was being a little more active. I was definitely getting more steps in every day. However, what a lot of people fail to realize is that when it comes to weight loss and fitness, it starts in the kitchen. So yes, I was getting more steps daily, but I would come home afterwards and eat the way that I was eating all along. And you really can't work out a bad diet, unfortunately. So when COVID hit, I essentially became unemployed since people were working from home. So they didn't really need a dog walker to come by and walk their dog for them. So I was home on unemployment benefits, doing nothing. And when April 2020 came, I lost an aunt, one of my mom's sisters, to COVID. And I feel as though that was a real wake-up call for me. I kept hearing about how people who were overweight or obese were at a higher risk of hospitalization with COVID. I mean, we all know that obesity is linked to an impaired immune system, and it decreases the lung capacity, which makes it more difficult, which makes ventilation more difficult. At this time, I was about 250 pounds, so I was definitely considered morbidly obese. And on top of that, my blood pressure was in hypertension stage 2. So basically, I was this close to getting a heart attack, stroke, organ failure, and that was scary. I mean, both sides of my family have a history of those illnesses and conditions. So I basically had to do something to make sure that I wasn't going to be another statistic. So when May of 2020 rolled around, like I said, something inside of me finally woke me up and I started to get more proactive. I started doing more research about dieting and nutrition, and I also started doing some light, like not so intense at-home workouts, just following YouTube videos. I did the at-home workouts for about a month or so, and then I decided to just walk outside. You know, at this time, New York City was a ghost town, and I was like, you know what, it's getting warmer, it's getting nicer out weather-wise. Let me just go out for long walks and just see how that goes. So I would walk for a minimum of 3 miles a day, every day, get well over 10,000 steps, and I started to see the weight melt off, literally. As far as my nutrition went, I started with the keto diet. For those of you who don't know what the keto diet is, it's basically a diet in which you're eating very low carbs, moderate amount of protein, and higher fats, to the point where you're putting your body in a state of ketosis. When you keep your carb intake low, the amount of sugar or glucose in your body gets depleted to the point where your body starts to use stored fat as its energy source. So on the keto diet, you're not having any bread, you're not having any potatoes, pizza, oats, rice, and of course you're not having the refined sugary snacks like the cakes, the cookies, the brownies, unless you do find the keto versions of those foods, which they are out there, but they tend to be a little more pricey. But yeah, so that's basically what I did. I want to say I did keto for about up until the end of 2020, and I am no longer on keto today. It no longer serves a purpose for me in my life and my journey. When November of that year came, November 2020, I officially joined the gym, and I have been at the gym ever since. And in my opinion, I do believe that carbs have a place in the diet of someone who is very active and consistently works out, either at home or at the gym. It really just depends on the type of carbs that you're consuming. The keto diet also has its benefits, but for a certain group of people. I also love my carbs. I have oatmeal almost every day. I have a bagel almost every day as a pre-workout meal. And I have been able to keep the weight off, but also have been able to build muscle while eating carbs. So what does my diet look like today? In a simple word, balance. I make sure that each of my meals has a source of carb, has a source of protein, healthy fats, and fiber. I also try to get a big serving of fruit and vegetables at least once a day. And I don't believe in cheat days. I really don't. I have pasta, rice, or potatoes almost every day. But what's important is combining those with a source of protein. So whether that's chicken or fish or a plant-based protein like tofu, as well as a source of healthy fats and fiber like avocados. Because when you combine those carbs with those proteins and those healthy fats and fiber, your blood sugar won't spike the way that it would if you eat those carbs alone. So today I am working to build a little more muscle mass, basically body composition. So I have been prioritizing protein and fiber while also making sure that I am getting in an adequate amount of calories for my specific needs according to my goals and my activity level. Nutrition is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and it's the same with fitness. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. It really comes down to the individual. So what health issues does this person have? What are their goals, et cetera, et cetera. It's more nuanced than people tend to believe that it is. So today I am at around 160 pounds. So if we're going based solely off the number on the scale, I have lost a total of 90 pounds. At the end of the day, I want people to realize that the number on the scale doesn't tell the whole story. And I wish people didn't give as much attention to it as they do. Because if you're consistently working out and you're eating right, there will be times when the number on the scale doesn't move, but you're noticing that your clothes are fitting differently. There could be a number of reasons for that. So that's why I always tell people that if you really wanna track your progress, take monthly progression photos of yourself or take weekly body measurements, because you may be losing inches even though the number on the scale isn't budgeting. And it's happened to me plenty of times, and it really does a number on your psyche. And yeah, so let's just not pay much attention to the number on the scale alone. So there you have it, everyone, how the COVID pandemic basically saved my life and made me become a fitness and nutrition and I guess overall wellness enthusiast, which if you had told me 4 years ago that this is how I was gonna be, I would have told you that you were crazy. But here we are. Life is funny that way, isn't it? If you enjoyed this video, again, please don't forget to like this video and please leave a comment down below. Any questions that you have for me regarding my life, my fitness journey, my weight loss journey, or just anything. I want to see what you guys have to say, what you guys are thinking. I don't know the direction that I'm going to take this channel in, so be sure to subscribe and join this journey with me so that we can all figure it out together, right? Until next time, you all, bye.